Welcome to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive.
Today, we are strapping in.
We really are. We're looking at one of the most remarkable streaks in modern sports history, the enduring success of Rassie Erasmus as the leader of the Springboks.
It's a genuine case study, isn't it, in how you build and, more importantly, how you maintain a high-performance culture.
Absolutely. We've pulled all the key information on his recently extended contract, that incredible win record.
And we're going to unpack the recipe for success that keeps South African rugby not just competitive, but, completely dominant.
Our mission today isn't just to list off numbers. We want to really analyze the metrics that define his legacy and understand the structural stability he's bringing to the whole South African rugby landscape.
And that context is so vital. We'll get to why his 75.5% win rate is, in many ways, a greater achievement than coaches who have a higher percentage on paper.
Exactly. It's a real aha moment. But first, before we dive headfirst into all that data, make sure you hit that subscribe button for Rugby Obsession. You don't want to miss our analysis.
Right. And speaking of analysis, that feeling of consistent success is the perfect place to start. Let's look at the 2025 season.
Yeah, the results just, they speak for themselves.
Well, they finished the year as the top-ranked team in the world. Again.
That's 3 years in a row, right? 2023, 2024, and now 2025. That kind of three-peat at number one is almost unprecedented in the modern game.
It really is, given how volatile international rugby can be.
And get this, they finished the entire 2025 campaign having lost only 2 games total.
Just 2. Which, for a team playing a full, grueling international schedule, that's astonishing.
And the way they ended that tour.
Wow. Oh, the game in Cardiff. A 73-0 demolition of Wales.
73-0, unanswered.
That kind of scoreline, it doesn't just happen. It's a sign of total tactical execution and, honestly, just ruthless depth.
I agree. A shutout like that sends a message, not just to Wales, but to every other nation.
It says that even at the very end of a long, hard season, the Springbok tank is still completely full.
And that consistency is what helped them keep all that silverware.
Absolutely. They successfully defended the Rugby Championship title, the Freedom Cup, and the Nelson Mandela Challenge Plate.
To keep all 3 of those, while only losing twice all year, it just points to a massive level of capability.
And that capability, I think, comes from what the source material calls their immense squad depth.
Yes. It's not just about the starting 15. The whole system lets them rotate players, bring in new talent, manage workloads, and they still deliver. How do they do that?
Well, it always comes back to the foundation, doesn't it? When you see this success across multiple seasons, even with new guys getting their first caps, it just confirms the structure is working.
So the success is really just a symptom of that real stability in their coaching group.
Exactly. The players know the playbook. They know the expectations, no matter whose number is on the jersey.
Okay, let's unpack that stability then. Let's talk about Rassie Erasmus's journey, because it's a fascinating one.
Right. It all started when he was first appointed director of rugby back in 2018.
And that 2018 appointment was transformative. It wasn't just a coaching change. It felt like a complete systemic overhaul.
And the results came almost immediately. Under his guidance, South Africa wins back-to-back Rugby World Cups, 2019 and 2023.
2 in a row. It's the stuff of legend.
Then, after that 2023 win, his title officially changes in 2024 to Springbok head coach.
And the momentum just keeps going. They win the Rugby Championship again in 2024 and 2025, leading to that triple crown of world rankings.
Which brings us to the really deep dive, placing his coaching run in its proper historical context.
And this is where it gets really interesting for anyone who loves rugby history. After that perfect end-of-year tour in 2025, Rassie Erasmus actually surpassed the win record of the legendary Danny Craven.
Yep. He now sits 5th on the all-time list for Springbok coaches.
And the number itself is 75.5%, a win percentage of 75.5%.
So when you look at the all-time list, he's only behind 4 others. Ian Kirkpatrick, Neely Smith, Cecil Moss, and Kitch Christie.
Right, but just saying he's 5th completely misses the point. This is the aha moment we were talking about.
That's the elephant in the room.
Volume. Exactly. What's the difference here?
Well, it's massive. The top 4 coaches, Kirkpatrick, Smith, Moss, and Christie, they all got their amazing percentages during the amateur era. And, crucially, They all coached the Springboks in 15 tests or fewer.
So we're talking about a percentage built on a tiny sample size, maybe just a couple of successful tours against, a smaller pool of opponents.
Precisely. You could have a coach who only oversees 10 tests where the opposition is maybe a bit winter. It's easier to hit 80 or 90% then.
Which means that Rassie's 75.5% record, achieved over a massive 53 tests,
Is a true testament to sustained professional success. It's just exponentially harder to maintain that rate over 53 games in the modern era.
Why is that?
Well, think about it. 53 tests covers 5 or 6 brutal seasons of rugby championship matches, high-pressure World Cup knockouts, constant global travel, the logistics, the physical toll.
You're managing player burnout, rotating the squad against top-tier teams every single week.
Yeah, and adapting to different refs, different time zones. It's a world away from the amateur era.
So it basically makes him the statistical king of the modern professional era. He is, and I'm quoting here, well clear of other modern era coaches.
That's right. You look at guys like Nick Mallett, Jake White, Heineke Meyer, all great coaches. World Cup winner Jake White had a fantastic run, but even his percentage was a bit lower.
So it's the sustained excellence over that long period that sets him apart.
That's the differentiator.
So we've established his historical dominance. Now let's look at the future, because the system he built just got a, 7-year guarantee?
Yeah, this is probably the most significant piece of news for South African rugby. The contract extension runs until 2031.
2031, that is just immense.
It guarantees stability for the next 2 full World Cup cycles. Think about the strategic advantage that gives you in long-term planning, player development, everything.
That is a huge commitment. But I have to ask, is there a risk of stagnation? Tying the entire national system to one voice for nearly a decade, does that remove the incentive to reinvent?
That's a very fair question. And look, absolute certainty can carry that risk. But the analysis suggests Erasmus has built a flexible system, not some rigid dynasty. He's always shown he's willing to adapt tactics, evolve his staff, blood new players.
And the quote they included from him seems to back that up.
It does, he said. I have always said that I would find it hard to coach any other international team, and I'm very happy to continue as long as the South African public wants me.
That sounds like a deep personal commitment.
Right. And it also seems they're not resting on their laurels, are they? He immediately mentioned they're focused on a really tough 2026 schedule.
The focus is always on what's next, and that focus is a huge advantage when you look at the competition.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
The Springbok stability is in such stark contrast to their arch rivals, New Zealand, who are apparently facing an internal crisis.
That chaos across the ditch really puts the value of continuity into perspective, doesn't it?
It does. We saw that article suggesting New Zealand rugby believes they can still beat Springboks despite all the coaching uncertainty.
To me, that sounds less like confidence and more like anxiety about the stability Rassie has built.
Well, think about the practical difference. While SA Rugby is planning for 2027 and 2031, New Zealand is worried about hiring a new head coach who has to build a whole new philosophy in a compressed time frame.
That's where teams can lose their way.
Exactly. So stability creates continuity, continuity builds depth, and that depth wins you titles. It's a cycle.
A virtuous cycle that they've now locked down until 2031. It's a huge strategic chess move.
It really is.
And before we move to our final thought, a quick reminder. If you're enjoying this deep dive, hit that subscribe button right now for Rugby Obsession. We cover these dynamics every week.
And we should say, the rest of the coaching staff is still being sorted out. An announcement on their contracts will be made in due course. But the architect is secure.
He is. So we'll pose this question to you, the listener. What impact do you think this guaranteed stability until 2031 will have on the squad going into that tough 2026 schedule?
The psychological advantage must be enormous.
For the whole system.
So let's wrap up the core findings here. Rassie's ability to mix a high win rate, that 75.5% with a high volume of games, 53 tests, makes us a modern historical outlier.
He's built a stable, top-ranked global force, its excellence through strategic consistency. And now for that final provocative thought we want to leave you with.
Right. So given this stability and depth that Erasmus has built, how will this advantage play out as rivals like New Zealand face coaching crises leading up to the next World Cup? Is the race already tipped in South Africa's favor because of this long-term certainty?
Or can a new rival coach, with a fresh start, overcome 7 years of built-in stability in just 2 seasons?
It's a compelling question about strategy, isn't it? Continuity versus the short-term buzz of a new regime.
We really want to hear your thoughts on this. Share your opinions on Rassie Erasmus's legacy, and let us know what moments stand out to you from this era of Springbok rugby.
And one last time, make sure you subscribe to Rugby Obsession so you don't miss any of our future deep dives.
Thank you for listening to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive, and we will look forward to you listening to our next episode.